Hello and welcome to the 26th episode of the Gochuucast. We're at the 6 month mark on this. Pretty wild. And today we got a very special episode in which we are going to be rating a bunch of anime fan bases, because what better way to celebrate our 6 month anniversary than with making people unhappy? So let me
and driving ourselves to the cesspool of fandom.
Yeah.
We taking
I
the
just feel like
by the way.
somehow, if this is one of the videos that like randomly pops off, one of these fan bases is just gonna find us, and it's gonna
Oh
be
yeah,
whatever
we
the
need a
worst
complete
one
title
is. Yeah.
and
But
a red arrow.
It's like the thing I fear, but also the thing that is the funniest is like, oh, if we put My Hero in the pedophiles category, and then the My Hero fandom's just gonna find us.
All right, now let's be honest.
I mean, yeah.
He's putting
If we're being
everything.
fully honest, yeah.
You're such a clown.
What do you mean?
Anyways, start putting these back. But basically, yeah, I mean, it's about as simple as this. Probably get rid of that one.
Is it the overflow fin? Oh,
It's
spoilers.
gonna be
like
representing
overarching, right?
hentai,
Yeah.
and
Spoiler.
hentai will be represented by overflow, and ecchi will be represented by Telovru, since that's
Understandable.
a very wide encompassing thing. Like we have Bloom into You is for Yuri, and then Yuri on Ice is somewhere in here for Yaoi.
Confusing.
Yeah, I don't know. They could have called it Yaoi on Ice, and probably would have reached the larger demographic.
I actually don't know. Partially, probably because I'm not a Japanese speaker, maybe, and I haven't watched Yuri on Ice. But why is it called Yuri on Ice?
I think there's literally a dude
Is there a
named
character
That's what I was gonna
He's
say, yeah.
probably
Is it
named
just that
Yuri.
simple? Yeah, no. There literally is a Yuri. Okay,
Yeah,
I
his name is
understand.
Yuri, and he's on ice. I understand
Crazy,
it's not
bro.
it's not a light novel, so it's not.
That's a real play on words, huh?
Yuri
You know what?
kisses men
Understandable.
on the lips while skating on
Caught
ice
up.
or something like that. Yeah.
Yep. I'm caught up. I now understand. For the longest time, the terms were confused for me because I thought it was Yuri on Ice because it was gay. So I was like,
Oh,
Yuri
okay,
must
sure.
mean, yeah. Like I thought that was the thing, and then as I watched more stuff and learned more words, then it was like, oh, Yuri is also two girls, and I thought they were
Yeah.
the same term for a long time, for just like any same sex. And then I was for a while. I've known for a bit the difference in the terms. I just didn't know why it's called Yuri on Ice. But for a while, I just thought Yuri was Bofa, and then I found out Yaoi was a term, and it was like, oh, what's different here?
That is an interesting story.
Anyway,
It's one of the stories of all time.
one of the stories.
Oh
of all
my
time.
god.
I guess
it.
before we begin, because I don't know if we're gonna reach an hour on this, we do have 30 fan bases to talk shit on, so I guess we probably could. But
We
That's
won't
easy,
do it
bro.
like a minute or two per each. That doesn't seem bad because some of these we're probably going to talk a while about. Like
Yeah.
Pokemon, for example. There's a lot of things that we need to discuss about Pokemon before I can
there
properly
are
put them on a
layers
tier
to some of
list.
these.
Layers
Because
like
one,
onion,
are
bro.
we strictly looking at Pokemon anime fans?
I think we'll go the wide encompassing.
Yeah, because we
Wide
have
encompassing,
Genshin on
okay,
here, right?
Yeah,
because Pokemon anime fans are like kind of okay. They're not the worst, but then if you add in Pokemon game fans and specifically Pokemon quote game fans,
Okay, PK, you have to
so
you have to
much
elaborate
worse.
now. You have to elaborate.
Yeah. Well, it's just everyone who complains about everything and hates everything about every game, but still comes to every announcement about every game to shit on it and how it's a terrible decision, how the games are just way worse than they were when we were kids.
Okay, but are
Which-
they wrong?
I mean, it's
they're
not that they're
entirely
wrong. It's more so like, I don't know. I still enjoy the new Pokemon games. I'm not
There's-
going to act like they're the best things ever, but I have fun playing them
I think there's just a better way to people.
to vocalize some of the issues.
People are very bad at criticism because they go to like
I mean, it is
one
the internet.
extreme. If people were to I can talk about. I'll go more in depth on my opinion here later. But if people were to think about things and realize that there is a line You don't have to go like this is the greatest thing ever, this is the worst thing ever type of thing.
All right, it's a 9.5. It's not a 10. It's a 9.5. That's as
Yeah.
low as I'll go.
Yeah.
That's as low as I'll go. I don't do any of this middle of the pack BS.
But in terms of Pokemon fans, I don't know. I mean, the anime fans aren't like bad. They're just a little lost, like because
Okay,
they
so a
don't like.
high also on the tier list. So higher means that they're worse. Is that how we're doing
Yeah,
this?
special
Yes.
place in hell is the S tier for us.
Pokemon's hard then, because I like Pokemon. I am
mean,
a Pokemon fan, but there's a lot of really bad Pokemon fans. And since we're doing fan bases, I feel like it has to be, at least for me, hate with a burning passion. For
Dude,
the
I don't
fan
think I've ever
base.
seen like a Pokemon anime fan, like a not like one that isn't
Pokemon
a fan.
anime fans are like the most wholesome anime fans.
they're just
Because
living
if
their
you're
life.
still sticking, if you're still sticking with the Pokemon anime, you're just like there to vibe.
Yeah, because like you'll see like
You haven't asked the question why Ash is still 10 years old. You haven't asked the
you'll see
question
like
what level is.
in like
Yeah,
comment
but none of the
sections,
actual
like,
Pokemon anime fans even do that. Most of Pokemon anime fans are like, "Pog, this episode we have Trapinch and Vibrava,"
dude, they're
and
like
that's like their thoughts for the week.
oh my god, Gardevoir totally just shadow balled that Hydreigon, and they're totally fine
Yeah,
with it, while we're
exactly.
just squirming in like agony.
Like, oh, it was so cool when
Oh,
that
that's
happened.
It was so
I was
cool
on the
when
edge of my seat. Like
Pikachu overloaded the fucking ability. Come on.
part of this might be that most real Pokemon anime fans might be a little on the younger side, but
It might be 2-year-olds. So
unironically, like most people who are still Pokemon like fans of the anime strictly and are actually watching the anime at this point, especially post Sun and Moon, which is funny because Sun and Moon anime was actually really good. But a lot of people, because the art style change and kind of the
Yeah.
directional change and everything, just like really got off of whatever was left of the Pokemon anime bandwagon after that.
XY was like the peak of it, and then I saw the art. I would not. I probably wasn't gonna watch it to begin with, but the art style change like definitely like killed any chance of me wanting to do
yeah,
that.
it's weird.
Masters 8, notwithstanding, Journeys was a very good anime. And I think most people who watched it were pretty happy with it. Except for the Masters 8, which, if you're someone who's played the games and has a lot of Pokemon knowledge, there's a few pretty infuriating things with the Masters 8, but it's still kind of hype.
Pokemon anime is like the Ice Shield 21. It's like if you know
Yes.
if you know the game, you fucking hate it so
if you
much.
know the game, it pisses you off,
It's-
especially the Masters 8 stuff. As you said, Gardevoir
just
Shadow Balling a
kept
Hydreigon
getting
is like
dumber. I'm like, okay, sure, he Iron Tailed a Mega Metagross, sure. But then fucking Shadow Balled the Hydreigon, even though you could use a fairy move, it's a fucking
It's
fairy
okay.
type.
They can never get dumber than the fucking overdrive.
The overdrive overload.
The overdrive
I heard
is
about that.
the
I'm
worst
like, you
thing
gotta
ever.
be kidding me. Anyway, I don't know if I put hate with a burning passion. There are a lot of stupid people out there, but
I think my
probably
problem
put-
is like I really dislike the game fan base. I'd be fine with Despise.
I'd probably
I think
put it
that one's
Despise. What about you, Spec?
Sure, yeah. I don't have an opinion on it.
It's
Alright.
hard because we are Pokemon fans. We're around Pokemon fans that are actually, for the most part, pretty tame.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Chainsaw Man airing right now. I feel like this is gonna pertain more to like manga fans, I guess, than anime, since the anime
Special
like,
place
just
in
dropped.
hell. Special place in hell. Special place in hell. Bro, they
Aren't they just like
bark.
super horny?
They fucking bark at the fucking one girl. That's it.
They
Yeah,
bark
that's
for
all they do,
Bakuba.
bro.
That's like what they do is they just bark and they're horny.
There's a big thing on Twitter. A YouTuber I used to watch a lot. His name is Chibi Reviews. He kind of does like. He's not like I guess most anime YouTubers now. He does like he'll do like daily videos, like just talking instead of the big edits, video essays, kind of like I do or whatever. Not that I make like big edits or anything, but he made a tweet. He's read the manga or whatever, and he like it's very obvious that the Makima, the girl that people like bark for or whatever,
Yeah.
is a little bit of a manipulator. And so he made
Yeah.
he made a joke about the ship for the main character and her already sailing because she's like, she's manipulating him or whatever. And then he got a bunch of death threats from Chainsaw Man fans. So
It is so.
Classic.
It's just unironically. I think. So I knew nothing about Chainsaw Man. I have watched the first 3 episodes. I don't think the 4th one's come out yet. I might
think
have
it
missed
just
it.
came out today.
Oh, it came out today. Yeah, you're right. I haven't watched anything today yet. And it's like, how do I put it? I don't know what I was expecting from Chainsaw Man, given the title and given the plot, but even somehow I'm still kind of sitting there, like, wondering if and how it gets good. But then also, it's a shonen moment, and the fan bases hype the shit out of so many of the shows we're going to talk about today have this issue. The fan bases get really hardcore and really into it and support it as if it's the greatest thing to ever have existed.
Yeah, I will say I
Right.
can see how
We all got one thing that we think is the greatest thing ever existed, right? So fair enough.
Yeah,
I
but
guess.
it's like if one person thinks that,
I won't put a
Chainsaw
knife to
Man's
your
the
throat or
greatest
anything.
thing ever, then it's like, that's fine. Everyone's gonna have their favorites. Having a favorite doesn't intrinsically make it a good or a bad opinion. But when there's like masses of people favoriting the same thing, then it's kind of like at attention, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's an angry horde.
And that's how a lot of these fan bases have a name, is because they have their angry horde.
Yeah, I will say, while I'm tempted to say Special Place in Hell, I haven't been
I wouldn't
spoiled
put
on
them there
shit.
I wouldn't put them there if it wasn't for the barking thing. But I think the barking thing is so fucking dumb, and
It's a little goofy.
it's very goofy, and it just kind of like, to me, puts them over the edge, where it's like, oh, so they're like normal shonen fan base for the most part. They're actually not that worse than some of these other shonen fan bases overall, but then they also have goofy gimmick that makes them even more insufferable.
I haven't been spoiled yet on Chainsaw Man, which I can respect. Every single other shonen in existence is impossible to escape, but somehow I have escaped Chainsaw Man spoils. I don't know if that's just luck, or if their fan base is like. I will say
There's just nothing.
the Kaguya fan base is so like Love's War is so like conscious about that stuff, and I love it so much. I finished the manga, it just completed recently, so now I don't have to worry about anything. But
it could be like a new versus old fan thing, where like the new fans know about like the internet and how quickly things spread, so they're very careful about not spoiling it.
No. See, like
No,
Demon
you think
Slayer's
Yeah.
spoilers all over the fucking place. It
Okay. Maybe
depends.
it's just specific. I
It
just
also
assumed it
depends
was
how
like
popular it is, because if something like Demon Slayer kind of like transcends the popularity of the average fan, then there's just people who naturally will go find spoilers, even if they're not fans of the series.
Just like the troll.
Yeah,
Just doing a bit of trolling, bro.
I would
Just a bit of.
I would say maybe a despise very much so for
Really?
Chainsaw Man.
Sure.
That or hate with a burning passion.
I'm down for hate with a burning. I think they're worse. I think that Chainsaw
We'll
Man fans
average
are
out
worse
here.
than Pokemon. Yeah,
They're a horde of angry people.
horde of dogs.
Let's not get it wrong.
Yeah,
They're
that
both
was literally what I was
terrible
gonna say. It's like that's a punchline, bro. It's actually just people barking. Like, what's that new meme? Have you seen that new meme on Twitter where it's like the guy, like the girl holding the guy, and it's like all X fans that look like this or something like that, or all X fans want this?
Is it the? Okay,
Oh,
maybe I don't know.
I'm not
no,
sure
I
what
don't
you're
know. It's like
talking
the
about.
guy in glasses, and it's like, yeah.
I thought I knew where you were going with it.
It's
but
just
then I
like it's really stupid, and it's like that's like the perfect like depiction of like the Chainsaw Man fandom. It's just like people want to get dominated and bark and bark. I mean, hey, whatever.
Anyway, we got the Demon Slayer fandom up next.
Oh, that's like perfect.
This one's polarizing for me, because I actually, in a vacuum, I don't think the Demon Slayer fan base is that bad, but I also think that they overhype their series, like all these fan bases do, but like to a higher degree than some of them.
Like, okay, you got the Ufotable fucking production. Let's not get too crazy here. I feel like the Demon Slayer fandom is like one of those things. So it's like you put like a pizza in the oven, right? And you leave that shit in there for way too long, but you can't see that it's burnt until you turn on the oven light. I feel like that's what the Demon Slayer
Such
fandom
an
is.
interesting
Like,
analogy.
you
Like,
you
I'm
don't know
impressed.
how trash it is until you take a little bit of a closer look at that. You turn on the oven light.
You
'Cause,
could have just said, "Don't judge a book by its cover."
yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. The Demon
Oh,
It's
listen,
just
mine's
so
on
hard
pizza. I get it.
because I
Wait,
look
this
at things like Demon Slayer, and Mars has recently been reading Jujutsu Kaisen and talking about how the way that Jujutsu Kaisen's written, and I don't think Spatula definitely doesn't read it. I don't remember if you read
No.
JJK or not,
I'm
Daniel.
not caught up anymore, but I'm like 160 in or something like that.
Okay. Even just from the anime, though, you can tell this Jujutsu Kaisen is like very much just action, like action, little bit of character, and then more action.
Yeah.
And I still feel like, even with that said, and even with Demon Slayer being a character-driven series,
I
I might
don't know
still
if I
like
could even
JJK's
call.
writing
You
more.
could not. I don't know if I could call Demon Slayer a character-driven series. It has characters
At
in
the
it.
very least, Demon Slayer acts like it's a character-driven series.
It really it does. It's just monster though. It's
Like,
just
I think
action.
I think it wants to be a character-driven
It
series. How
will.
about that?
It will do. So I got into an argument with Mars about this before. Is that I do not. If a show is going to not try to be well written, I can respect that. But it's when they like try
When
to
a
give
show
the
is
when they try to
attempting.
give the illusion that they're doing something.
and then fail.
Because we had this with No Game No Life. Yeah, obviously No Game No Life is not taking itself like particularly seriously, but it's the fact that it tries to act like it's more than what it is at some points. It's like, oh, this character's not that big of an asshole. They do that for like one episode, and then they're back to being a total piece of shit, and that character moment means nothing, and so it's like a wasted moment in general. And this is like what Bofuri is like. It's so badly written that it's well written, right? It doesn't try to bullshit you.
Wow.
There is not a single character moment in there that you could ever point to like maybe have some development. You have your characters, if they slap them in front of you, you're like, this is what you fucking get. Now they're gonna play a video game.
They play video game, they break the fucking video game, and
Yeah.
no one cares.
And Demon Slayer is
It's
kind of like
just
the
haha
same
funny.
thing. You'll get some character moments in there. They're not good. It's like they're very shonen, is I guess how I would put it. It's just there's nothing to Demon Slayer without Ufotable, and it's like you can say like, oh, you can't say like, oh, without the good animation it would be trash because it has the good animation, but like you have to realize there would be
I don't think it would have blown up.
it
How
would
about
not
that?
have blown up in any capacity. It is so okay, I guess. It's
Yeah, I'm
entertaining to
very
watch. Don't get me
Demon
wrong.
Slayer neutral.
I don't hate Demon Slayer. It's just that the way people like call it like the greatest anime of all time, like it's fun. It's entertaining, but I can't with a good conscience call it better
If
than
it's carried so hard by the production.
yeah, because like let's say you fucking
Yeah.
gave it to like I don't know,
Yeah, if you gave it to something else, it
Time to
wouldn't be as
drag
good.
someone.
yeah,
Yeah.
trying to
Drag
drag a
someone
studio,
right now.
If you
trying
gave-
to drag
studio,
a studio.
drag
and
a
if you gave,
studio
like,
right now.
An anime that was good in all other aspects except for its animation and stuff, if
Yeah.
you gave Ufotable to
Like,
them, it
if-
might be much more popular.
If it was made by the studio that did Orient, then it would suck dick. No one would care about it. But it got
Okay,
you.
but what
It
if
got
Orient? What if Orient was made by Ufotable?
I would go
would still
to you.
suck
I'd
dick.
go to Ufotable and I would bankrupt myself to get them to stop producing it.
Hell.
But I don't know. I wouldn't put them on the same tier as Pokemon fans. I guess.
I think it's just pretty trash.
They're
like,
pretty
just
trash.
Do you think it
below.
got worse because of the movie, like, and all the numbers that came out because of that? Do you think it
The
changed?
thing is,
It did-
the movie was really good, and that's a lot on Ufotable. So it's like, but I don't think that the movie made the fan base any worse. I just
I think
Okay,
the
it was
fan.
a good movie.
I don't even know
and
where the fan base came from, dude. I think everyone was just like simultaneously watching the show without like
Yeah.
talking about it, and then episode 19 happened. And everyone like
and then
they like
now
started
everyone's
peering
talking
around the
about
corners.
it.
Like
Yeah.
you guys watch this too?
Y'all watching?
Y'all are watching.
But yeah, even all that said, I think the fan base is too tame for me to really dislike.
They
them,
don't do
other than
enough
just outlandish
stupid
claims. But everyone on this list has outlandish claims.
Yeah. Okay. So next up,
All right, we don't
My
have to
Hero.
spend
Yeah,
very
we can,
much
we
time
can
on
just
this,
put them
right?
in special place in hell. I feel
My
like
Hero is practically the poster child for
the
toxic
worst.
anime
Dude,
fans.
they're
So you're
so
saying you
bad.
should be in hell, a special place.
Yeah, if you're a My Hero fan still in the year 2022,
All right. Look.
yeah.
Every fandom has their good it's bad. The bad apples that
Yep.
the thing is, right, you can't just cut off the rotten part and act like the apple's fine. You got to throw the whole thing away, and so that's why we're putting My Hero into a special place in hell.
That's the problem. And My Hero is just gotten to the
Only
point where
focus
it's
on the
rotten.
rotten part. Only focus on the rotten part.
There's
That's
so
what you're
much
saying.
rotten. There's so many like bad factions of the My Hero fan base too that it's almost impressive.
It really is impressive.
Because there's you can find like 7 different factions of the My Hero fan base that are just inherently bad and toxic and don't need to exist. Like we brought up the barking thing from Chainsaw Man is like that's one cringe gimmick. The My Hero fan base has the cringe shippers. It has the crackpot theorists that always have really bad
Oh my
theories that
God.
don't make any sense.
Oh no.
Including the one where Bakugo is a time traveler.
I hate that.
He's one of the users of One for All. Thankfully, that one is already proven wrong. And I don't feel bad spoiling that for people who haven't read My Hero because you're better off just knowing that is not a theory that exists.
And it's like, okay, we said it for
There's
every
the
single
ones-
show. Everyone overhypes the.
Yeah.
Everyone overhype it.
There's the random fan base. They're not fan base. There was the random faction like a year ago that had all the Bakugo died memes and just kept spamming that everywhere as like fake spoilers about Bakugo dying and stuff like that.
Yeah. I would say, I don't know. The shipping is definitely the worst part of their.
Shipping is the worst, and
If
they
there's the
ship
most
everything.
rotten part.
If 2 characters exist, they are shipped. Not even 2 characters of opposite genders, which is fine. And it's fine for them to be the same genders. There is just no limits to the My Hero shipping. If 2 characters exist, there is a ship for them, and you can find it.
It's okay to be friends. That's all.
What about the fanfic writers, bro? That's like the next.
they're
tier.
like
They're
the-
just part of
it's the
that,
same.
basically,
It's the same. I don't think the fanfic ones are like over the top usually, but
I don't read fanfics, so I will let you be the expert
I mean,
on that.
yeah, I'm not. I'm not an active reader. But I feel like the writing the essays, the stories, it's like that's a next level thing. So it's like a little more than just shipping. But
Yeah.
they're
I don't know. The My Hero
crazy.
fan base has also, over the past few years, got really cope because, let's be honest, the series was really good, and a lot of people enjoyed the series. I enjoyed the series a lot, and it's not that it's fallen off. It's just I feel like it hasn't fulfilled a lot of the like unspoken promises that I felt like I had from the series, and so it's just kind of gotten dull on me. I think that's a feeling that has generally gone around everyone who's read My Hero. So all the hardcore fans have just gotten super cope lately.
I feel like it's like a really uneven roller coaster. I didn't care for season 1, so that's like going up the hill. Season 2 is kind of whatever. You hit like the stain stuff. He was, cool villain or whatever. You go a little faster on the roller coaster, but then it just the first part of season 3 I thought was honestly probably peak My Hero for the themes it set up, but it didn't really deliver on them going forward.
Yeah,
and
I
so
think that's my biggest thing with My Hero is there was
slowed
a
the
lot
roller
of cool
coaster.
things it set up. And even if I look back on the series now, too, there were so many things that got set up, and if you look into what are now the resolutions for a lot of those things, it's just also very dissatisfying.
And I think it's in the name My Hero Academia, but the academia parts are fucking awful for the most part. Like they're too.
You just sit there begging
long.
to move on to
It's
the
like-
hero parts.
It's like, okay, we're in the provisional license arc. No one cares.
I mean, I did, and it's funny because I'm one of the people who did enjoy some of the academia parts for what they were, but it is true that
Like, no one would give a shit about the sports festival if there were like cool, well animated fights in there, right? It's just
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just there's no substance behind most of them. Like the concert arc, yeah, whatever. It's cute or whatever, but
Festival was
it takes
also so
12
early.
episodes to get to the fucking
Yeah.
festival.
sports festival was also so early that like people didn't even have expectations for like directions the show could go from there because it was before it really started to pop off the non-academia stuff.
Yeah. Next up, I put Overflow as our representative for the hentai scene.
oh my gosh.
Personally,
Truly.
I put them at
Fandom.
not that bad. So obviously, there's
I
gonna
don't know.
be.
They just spam numbers that I don't understand.
I feel like it's
Bro, did you
you-
try calling them on your phone, bro?
you don't get like you don't get much more.
No,
wholesome
it's only
than-
6 numbers, Pat.
the pornography
I can't put it in
community
my phone.
usually is pretty chill. I mean,
Dude, the like on the websites, the
They
video
just kind of
websites,
sit.
it's
Yeah,
like in the
they just
comments
kind of
chilling.
sit over
so
in
funny.
there.
The comments people are like 0-hour gang. That's like all they say. It's
They
like,
just kind of sit
go
in
to
their own
November
little
gang.
bubble. And like I said, they'll just like say random strings of numbers that mean something to somebody.
It depends
Just-
on
yeah.
the depends on what the they'll like ask for the sauce or whatever. And if so, there will
Sauce?
always be someone to provide sauce.
Dude, I feel like the hentai fans are like not real people. Like they're all real people,
They
but they don't
feel
like
like
feel like real
NPCs.
people.
They all
Yeah,
feel like
bro, they feel like
NPCs.
NPCs, bro. It's
Yeah.
just the comment sections are like so funny.
You'll just see like random screenshots from
No,
like
you
a
know
doujin or
what
something.
hentai fans are like? It's the fucking the seagulls from Finding Nemo.
Yes. Oh my god, that is so good. That
But
is
it's just
actually
saying
It's
different
good.
numbers.
Yeah,
My
just saying
God.
numbers or like sauce.
okay. Yeah, actually, no. I've one
Sauce.
bad thing to say about them.
What?
One bad thing.
Yeah.
Hentai fans, there's like this YouTube. I swear I'm not subscribed. It's like they appear in like your recommended when you're scrolling on mobile.
If you're an
Oh.
And there's
anime
like
fan, they always show up. Yeah, I know.
yeah,
I
dude,
have the same
no,
one. I have the
it's
same
a
one.
collection of like 3 pictures of
Yes,
like
dude.
hentai. Like,
Oh my god. Dude.
and they're like the most cringe shit ever. Like it's awful. So that's the only bad thing I have to say.
You'll see. I've seen like, some ones that I went to go check out. Yeah.
Yeah, no. But it's always like there's like some that are like extremely
Yeah,
cursed.
some of them are really dumb, but then
They'll
some
like
of them
change
like
the
I'm like,
captions too to be some
It's
really
like-
dumb meme.
It's like picture of woman, and then the picture underneath is like "Don't mind if I do" or something like that. Like they're not real.
yeah, but I mean sometimes I'll
Saying-
you see those pictures you're like, all right, you hit the comment button,
like
go,
relax.
yeah, all right, yeah, I don't know, they're fine. I can't like
They're fine.
Fine.
There's
Like
obviously
as far
going
as
to be
like
bad
fan
apples,
bases, yeah.
but everyone's just like you get your
How can
whatever,
NPCs
whatever
be that bad?
you can have whatever porn taste you want. No one's gonna judge you for it.
They'll generally accept all these other.
All
fan
they're gonna
bases,
do
too.
is ask
You
for the
you
sauce.
just show up. Yeah, you just show up with whatever series you like, and they'll just give you 6 numbers.
Yeah,
Be
dude,
like, here you go.
like there are motherfuckers out there reading like eye
Oh,
penetration.
you're-
They have no like right to judge. I think that
Yeah.
everyone knows that they're degenerates, and that's why they're the
They'll
best.
just be like, oh, you're a My Hero fan, 316572,
Yeah,
No.
and you put the number in.
it's like it's hard.
I don't
to-
know what
to
that
go
is, by the
wrong.
way. Just someone's gonna put that
I
number
think-
in to
I
find
think
out what
you
it is.
gave-
I have no one,
I think
no
it's
idea.
it's usually like a 6-digit number, isn't it? Or
It
something
is
like-
6.
You
I'm
gave,
pretty
you gave,
sure.
you gave 7, I think. So we're safe.
Did I give 7? I don't know. I gave numbers. That's my best impression.
Anyway, next up we have the Evangelion fans.
Is
Bro,
this
these
a
people
fan
think
base that's still alive? Like, do
I
they
mean-
still
Yes.
do stuff?
The
True Shield.
the like final movie just ended or whatever. I don't know. Eva is like, there's always the people who call it like one of the greatest things ever, and then there's like, yeah, this shit. I don't know anything about
Yeah,
it.
there's no in between.
I mean, it's like generational, right? Because there's a few on here that'll be like the boomers, so to speak. But Ava fans don't even feel like a boomer fan base to me. It's just like, it's like history, right? That's how I feel about Ava fans,
Yeah.
where it's like these people that used to exist.
The only thing I know about Ava is the meme with Shinji with the cum in his hand. That's all I know. Or they have like the clapping was recently a meme from like the final
yeah,
movie
the
or
clap-
whatever. But other than that, I don't feel like
I don't really know
don't
enough
know.
about Ava
I've
to
never
talk
had-
about the
I've
series.
never had a bad Ava fan experience, so I have nothing to like.
Here, the only thing
Well,
I
I
have to
have
say is like they
Shield
think they're
folks,
so
so, like-
smart. They think they're so smart. That's
I
like
would
the only
think
thing.
I would
They do
probably
think
put
they're
them like
really
right
smart.
here, maybe.
They're like
maybe
five
that's
headed.
just because I know Shield Poke, and Shield Poke acts like he's a very smart Ava fan.
Dude,
But
no, but they're like all like that. It's like if you don't understand like why it's good, it's like bad. I feel like
just
that's
stop
you're like
being
you're like
dumb.
dumb. Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like that's a thing for a lot of the historical animes.
Apparently-
Maybe
There's like some symbolism or whatever in the
Yeah,
manga and the show where they use like crosses when stuff explodes. I can't remember the exact like details or whatever, but there was like a bunch of theories on what these crosses really means. And then someone asked the author in Japan, like, what do the crosses mean? He's like, I just thought they looked cool. And so all these theories just come crumbling down. They meant literally nothing. I've heard it's actually like not even like that well written. It's just like, what does it mean to you when you watch it? I guess, and having not watched it, I can't say one thing or another. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
yeah,
They're not that bad. And partially because maybe
Fair.
we just live in a time where they're quieter.
True.
Because there's so many other fan bases nowadays.
yeah, they're like
Twitter in
they're like in the back
1997
like
was
trying
crazy.
to make noise, but everyone's so fucking loud.
No, they're just too old.
Next
Speaking
up,
of loud fans, Hunter x Hunter.
I don't feel like I see like that. I don't know. The thing with Hunter x Hunter fans is like whenever they try and get like fucking feisty with you, you can just like tell them how many days it's been since the hiatus began.
Since the last chapter.
I mean, the new one. There is a new one coming out soon. So
No,
their
you can count
hiatus
the
is
number.
finishing,
You can count
but
the number of pictures in the last chapter.
yeah, it's it's just I don't have any like bad experiences. I haven't watched Hunter x Hunter myself, so I don't get
They
like
used to be.
recommended that
They
stuff,
used
but
to be a lot worse, and I think the hiatuses have made them all mellow
it's
because they're
humbled
like
them.
they're just like worried that if they'll even get more Hunter x Hunter, you know.
Yeah, I have nothing really to say about that. I'm sure they're Shonen fans, so at the very least they got to go here. But
I want to say they're like Ava level.
yeah,
A few years ago, I probably would have put them with Demon Slayer fans, but they've been, understandably, because of the hiatus, they've been really quiet.
yeah, they're like, oh fucking damn it, dude, can't say anything now.
Give me more chapters.
I have to post the same screenshot from like 3 years ago. But next up, the one that's bad was
Begging
raring and ready to go with the Genshin fans.
He's not gonna like it. He's not gonna like where we put them.
Where are we putting the Genshin
Clones,
fans,
bro?
Surely Genshin fans are worse than Chainsaw Man fans.
I would
I don't know.
I would definitely move them pretty far up on this list.
I
somewhere
want to
here.
put them in special
I feel
place
like-
in hell, but I don't know if they deserve to be next to My Hero. I'll be honest.
No. Okay, so like I feel like Genshin just like I'm not gonna defend the game because I think the fans are cringe, but like I feel like people are just like made Genshin like oh my god, how do I describe it? It's like people just like meme on Genshin for like
I feel like people memed Genshin into being like a legitimate game and like fan base. You know what I mean?
what you're saying is they're all NPC.
I think I've seen it's on one of the servers. I mean, a couple like people still play Genshin or whatever. So I've seen like some of the deeper fandom, because like they'll like
They also
interact.
all
They'll
kinda
interact in
hate
some
themselves.
servers. I don't know. There are a lot of very sad people who play like Genshin.
Yeah, that's what I'm
It's a
saying.
very big player base. Like they literally, I didn't know you could fill up a Discord until Genshin made Genshin Discord 2, and so
What the Oh wait, yeah.
they literally
Oh my
hit the
God.
limit. That's how many people
That's
are playing this
insane.
fucking game.
That's
I didn't know there was a
So
limit.
insane.
So it's like obviously it's tough. You're gonna have a lot of bad apples when you have that many people playing your game.
Bro, I'm in there for the emotes, okay?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
I'm
those
there for the
emotes.
emotes as well. Yeah, I played the game for like 2 weeks. I'm like,
Me too.
It takes
Actually,
like
me too.
it takes
Played
like
the game for
30
like a
minutes
month or
to do
so,
my
probably.
dailies because I got to run across the entire fucking country to go to go do things. So
That was my problem. I did enjoy the game, and we don't talk about money being spent on that game either. But
I did not spend a dime.
yeah, me too. Didn't spend anything. Yep.
Wink,
that's me.
wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah, okay, I got it. I
Yeah.
got it.
I enjoyed the game. It was just too much of a grind, especially because did Genshin come out during COVID?
Yeah,
Yes.
so I was.
Yeah.
That's the only
So-
reason I played it for 2 weeks. I was in my college dorm doing fucking nothing.
Yes, same.
That's cool.
It came out during COVID, and that was fine. And then like COVID stuff ended. I started going to classes again, and I was like, I don't want to get on my PC to do my 30 minutes of Genshin dailies.
Yeah, I did it on my phone, but it's like it's still a hassle because I gotta load the game. Like, all right, what's my dailies? And I gotta travel across the entire fucking continent to go do them.
That is actually true.
Go like
The
beat a
traveling is
a
insane.
few
This is-
bosses or something.
This is why I've been playing Precon for like 2 fucking years. Basically, is just
You
that
just hit auto ticket.
I hit auto or whatever, or I can.
Oh,
My
Daniel,
dailies
there's
take like 5 seconds.
in JP, there's a new quality of life that came out in Precon that is you go to like a booklet for Kokoro, and you hit start, and she does all your dailies for you.
Oh my god. She just does the dailies.
She just does them all.
What a fucking saint. Yeah, I
It's
just
great.
I just like murdered my gem stash for Christmas, Christina, and then I slashed my DA stash for 5-star X knows of me. So
Did you see that Halloween Christina came out?
no, I don't really keep up with JP.
She's a bunny.
I see. Anyway,
Anyway,
Genshin fans.
Genshin fans, I want to put them next to
Chainsaw.
Chainsaw Man. I think they're not quite as bad as My Hero fans.
Yeah,
But
I can't.
Sure.
There's too many of them for me to be like they all belong in hell. So
I could even argue for them being down with Pokemon fans. But I feel like hate with a burning passion is fair.
yeah, I don't
A
know.
lot of clowns.
There are definitely a
Lot of
lot of clowns in the Genshin community. They have like really cool cosplays and stuff, and
Just
get
like that
Yeah.
cool
Nora
fan
guy.
art.
I mean, it's huge, right?
They are
So-
cool Genshin fans, but however, with that stipulation comes the not cool Genshin fans. But anyway, moving on to our next little shonen here is Jujutsu Kaisen.
Do you like fighting?
I will say that
Then you like Jujutsu
all
Kaisen?
of the Jujutsu Kaisen manga fan pages on Instagram should all have their own special place in hell, but they don't represent the entire
That
fan
is-
base.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I don't know.
Oh, Joe gifts spammers, bro. I feel like there's like one of those in like every big Discord server. So there's one guy who like spams Gojo gifts.
There's always
Yeah.
the Gojo guy. I wouldn't say. I don't know. I'd probably put on like the same level as Demon Slayer personally.
I want to say they're also same level as
Seems-
Demon Slayer. They're relatively
It's
harmless
fine.
for the most part, but they
Yeah.
make some wild claims occasionally, and you see them spam Gojo everywhere.
What was it? It's Jujutsu Kaisen Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was the
all of
worst.
them. I love the gifts that are like it's this anime.
It's Sorcery
And then
Fight
it's the day
Friday.
they came
That's the
out.
best one.
Sorcery fight. Good old sorcery fight.
Like it's gotten to the point where we'll watch our obscure animes like when Extreme Hearts was out, and I was DMing Lugia, and I was like, we should make an Extreme Hearts Saturday GIF, and now we have. Extreme Hearts Saturdays have ended, of course. But if you go on
Never
Tenor,
to come back.
for on Discord, you can find Extreme Hearts Saturday GIF that me and Lugia made.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got
interesting.
the Bochi one favorited for right now. I didn't have
Oh
to
yeah,
do-
there is the Bochi one too, isn't there?
Yeah, it's just like the opening visuals or whatever. But anyway, Bochi is based, so we don't need to talk about Bochi in this tier list. However, we do need to talk about another B, which is Blue Lock.
The B airing this season. Blue Lock is my addition because I needed more sports representation. I think Blue Lock is the funniest sports fan base to talk about because they're the most shonen like. Not just because their series is also basically a shonen that masquerades as a sports series, but there's like the Blue Lock and the Awashi fan bases are like at civil war for like the sports fan at all times because they both want to be the greatest soccer manga of all time, and it is unacceptable to not that it's unacceptable to like the other one if you're a fan of one, but it feels that way sometimes the way that the fan bases act. But the Blue Lock one is the more, I guess, violent one because they
Because they're Shonen fans. at
fight
heart.
more, I guess is how I would say. Like Awashi has a lot of things that are very upfront that make it good, and Blue Lock has a lot of things that are more like subtext that make it good. So Blue Lock fans, you get a lot of angry paragraphs in places talking about how it's, the greatest series ever and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'd say from what I'd seen, I'd probably put him here personally. I just don't know enough about Blue Lock fandom. Like I knew they
They're
existed.
probably
but-
around pretty trash. I think if you knew them as well as I know them, they might bump up to despise, but I also think it's
It's too
they're like
early to tell.
they're like a weird fan base to gauge because it's such a small group, but they are so loud if you were in the areas that they talk in.
Yeah, we'll just put it in like pretty trash since I don't think Spatter I can like in any capacity.
Talk
Give
about
me
that.
the put on that
Yeah,
one.
we can't.
What is this
Give you
next
put on the
one?
next.
So this is Persona. So I
Oh, we
just
have
put
to add the pedophiles tier back. Gotcha.
Dude, is it just me or is every Persona fan like between the ages of 19 and 21? I'm like convinced that's like the case.
They
I don't have
don't.
data
They
to back
don't
me up.
age. They all
Dude,
stay.
I'm
They
convinced
actually
that's the
stop
case.
aging.
If you
Actually,
play a
when you turn
Persona game, you
22,
stop.
when you turn 22, you forget the Persona exists.
You see like Persona 5 on your PlayStation, like what the fuck? Did I play this? 100% completion or whatever. I don't know. I feel like Persona is definitely one of those things where I feel like the fan base isn't that bad, but it's like when they are when you do see
Persona
one that
is
is bad.
like that one emo that Spat posts all the time with the dude pushing his glasses up,
Yeah.
Oh,
and it makes me think of that.
yeah, that one.
You know the one I'm talking?
Outplayed.
Yeah. Outplayed. Yes, it makes me think of the Outplayed guy.
All
'Cause
the
it's like,
it's I feel like you're and we one of these animes is actually on. Oh, it's literally the fucking next one. If you're a Persona fan, you're by extension a Ruby and a Danganronpa fan, and then
true.
you can't deny
An
that.
Among Us fan.
Big
I
Among
almost
Us.
feel like of those three, Persona is the one I feel the like less um inclined to hate on. I guess is how I would
I'd
describe
probably
it.
put them in the middle. We'll talk about the next one, but I definitely the Ruby
Yeah,
fans
I
are worse
also
than.
think like Persona fans. I feel like the Shin Megami Tensei games. And
Yeah.
Persona's like a series in it or whatever. It's like I feel like those original fans like hate Persona fans. That's the vibe I get. So I feel like it might be for a reason, but I don't know. Maybe it's in the middle of the pack compared to other animes. I just feel like they get clowned on a lot. That's all I'll say.
Persona fans do get clowned on a lot, and it's like I've never like seen something like horrendous from.
That might be
Sure, I
why we
guess.
feel like they're not bad, is they've just been clowned to the point where they're tame.
Yeah, they're memes now, bro.
It's like
They're like equal with Ava to me. I'd be down to put them in the bottom tier because I really don't.
I feel like
care that
hentai fans
much
are like
about
better
it.
than this.
hentai fans are definitely going to be better than
That's
Persona
not a
fans.
sentence I expected to say ever, but yes.
It's kind of like how like a tragedy happens. After a while, you just kind of start joking about it. And that's kind of what Persona is now, I guess, is that no one cares
Yeah,
anymore.
it's memed. It's memed.
Like people like the games. It's just that there are like weird people with the fandoms or whatever.
The outplayed guy.
There are
Yeah,
people who were born without father figures, and so they
yeah.
they had to learn
Hey, dude,
their teenage years in Persona games. I guess I don't know.
understandable.
Anyway, the Ruby
Ruby,
fandom.
on the other
Ruby's
hand,
pretty bad. Pretty awful fan
it
base.
has to be at minimum Pokemon level, right?
I would personally probably put it here.
Yeah,
They're
I think
really
I'd be
bad.
fine with Burning Passion.
It's like
I feel like
okay
Ruby.
with that.
Yeah.
there's so many of them, and it's like, dude, Rooster Teeth is going under eventually. I'm wondering what's gonna happen with Ruby when that happens, because like,
I'm surprised that they've even lasted this long.
yeah, they just had another controversy though with some
I
some
know.
not grand things. So they're definitely. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Are they owned by like Warner Brothers or something? Someone owns them. I don't remember who.
Really?
They someone owns Rooster Teeth, and that's probably the only reason they're afloat right now.
Yeah.
But I guess the parent company would probably take over the properties if they just murdered Rooster Teeth. But
I think the dude, you know how I said like Persona fans are like 19 to 21? I'm pretty sure like Ruby fans are like perpetually like 16 to 19 or something. Like I don't know. I just feel like that's
I
like
give
Yeah,
it. I
that's
give
like
like a
age.
14 to 17 area.
once they have
Okay, I
fully
mean sure, so
functioning
teens.
once they have fully
I feel like high
functioning and
schoolers-
developed brains, they're embarrassed by liking Ruby.
Dude, no, yeah. No, dude, I feel like this is like the stereotypical like high school like show. Like people, I feel like high schoolers really like the show. That's like my conclusion.
I think it has like
So
a generally
high
interesting.
schoolers part of a fandom. I don't know. That's kind of high schoolers part of a fandom can be a little bit scary on
Ruby has
social
like
media.
a generally interesting, like really crafted world, I suppose. But it's just the writing. Like the original creator for the series, unfortunately passed away. I think it was like 3 volumes in, and this shit has it's getting 9. It's 9th soon, and so obviously the guy with the vision is no longer, he's seeing the heaven gates, not the pen and paper. So unfortunately, obviously other people had to take over that writing, and so as it progressively got worse, so did the fandom that like tried to hold on to it, and I can talk about that in a minute here, but with a different series. I'm not like too deep into the Ruby fandom, but I have a friend who like generally likes the
You know
show.
enough, yeah.
I know enough about Ruby. He'll get the occasional like recommended video, like oh Ruby fans at it again. So it's like I'd put them they're pretty up here. My Hero going uncontested for right now though. Next up, Death Note. I
hate the Death
I feel like
Note
Death Note is
fanbase.
old enough to like I don't feel the effects of the
Yeah, I
fandom
don't even
now.
know who like Death Note fans are. I think it's just like, oh, have you seen Death Note?
I got the tail end of the Death Note fandom, and they're like every way that Rui described the Ava fandom and the
They're like
outplayed
that,
emoji and
but
everything.
worse.
They were like that, but way worse.
I feel like
It's just they're quiet nowadays because Death Note for a
It's
lot of people
done.
is kind of it's done and is kind of uncontested, like a pretty good anime, right?
Yeah.
Like no one's really are even the people like me who don't like Death Note aren't gonna sit here and be like, yeah, Death Note fucking sucks. Because it's just not true.
I might when I finish. I don't know. I watched Platinum End first, so I have a bias going in against the
I
author.
still think even that said,
I probably put him in pretty trash.
right now, probably pretty trash. Right next to Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen, I think that's fine.
Okay, so next up we have Attack on Titan fans, and as someone who was reading the manga for a while until the end, it's
Yep.
tough. It's
This
between
is gonna
these
be
two.
fun.
I gotta think about this.
This one's gonna be fun.
Attack on Titan fans go. It's like a range, right? There is,
Bro, there's like
after-
the Attack on Titan fans that are anime only, and the Attack on Titan fans that finish the manga are like two different species.
It's not even the fandom has evolved so much over time. Like I think in 2013, obviously when it was like super popular, there were a lot of annoying fucking people with Attack on Titan, and they
I
probably
feel
go
like you
in
can
special
make
place in
an
hell.
entire video on the history of the Attack on Titan fan base,
I probably
and it
could.
would be a dog shit video, but it would have content.
And then, so then we had to have the big wait for season 2 or whatever, and that like really tamed the fandom. And then we got season 2. And it wasn't as popular because it had it was a big wait. And the fandom kind of like was tame. We had the manga and the anime. Everyone was like kind of living in harmony, right? And like the best parts of the manga were happening. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, this is so fucking good. Let's go." The anime was coming back. We only had to wait
Season 3.
We only had to wait a couple of years for season 3, and we had 2 parts of that. And everyone was like, "This shit is so good." And then the ending, happened. This is when the Fire Nation attacked. This fandom has never been the same since. Everyone was so harmoniously like coming together for this ending. There's Avahu Vores or whatever for fucking the Grinch. Everyone just dancing around having a grand old time. And then we started getting like towards the end. It was like chapter 135, 136. Everyone's like, they can still end fine. Then we hit 137. It's like, Isayama, what are you doing? 130. It's like, no. And then 139. That's when it all overflowed. But then it got even worse because we got the full volume release, which had extra pages for the final chapter. And that was the end. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. It was done after that. There was no repairing this community. It was over from that point.
I think if there's any fan base that I can put at the same tier as My Hero, it would be the Attack on Titan fan base.
It's really tough because the schism, right, has broken. I'd say the
evolution of the fan base though is funny.
It is,
and it makes me feel like I shouldn't put it up there.
It has broken the fan base into like 3 factions. We had the people who hate the fucking manga ending and want to eviscerate anyone from the fandom who liked it. There's people like me who fucking hated the manga ending, but I'm like, okay, well, I can explain why it's bad or whatever. I'm not gonna like chastise anyone for liking it, I guess, because it's it's other people's place to enjoy things. I think it's objectively terrible and an awful ending. It doesn't ruin the series for me, but because there's just so much good stuff that happened before it, but it's really bad.
Dude, I was thinking about how PK said like we need a history of like the Attack on Titan. You could do it like False Swipe Gaming's like
yeah, exactly.
How good was Attack on Titan actually?
Yeah,
or it's like a summoning assault video, but about.
I probably will make a video on the anime.
Yes. Oh my god, yes.
I kind of wanted to when the manga ended,
love
but I'm like,
assault.
I'll wait for the anime because
5-hour documentary.
Yeah. But it's like And then there's the third faction, which is the people who really like the ending, even though it's just so bad.
Okay,
It
Daniel,
was a slap in the fucking face.
can we make an agreement right here on the podcast, Daniel?
Yeah,
If
what?
the One Piece manga flops,
Uh-huh.
the ending flops, and it's terrible, which I hope doesn't happen because I am a One Piece fan. But if it does, I want you to binge the series and make an entire hour-long dissertation summoning salt-esque video on the
Oh
fall
my
of One
God,
Piece.
hour.
If
You need
One Piece has
50 hours.
such an awful ending that it breaks the community the same way that the Attack on Titan's ending did, I will binge all of One Piece within a week, and I will make that video.
You're insane.
That's what I want. That's all
You're
I
gonna
want.
watch it like
So at
times
least,
10.
No,
at
I'm
the
gonna
very
read it. I'm
least,
gonna
while
read
I
it.
am at the very least while I'm crying about One Piece having the worst ending of all time, I know that I can trust you to make the banger video about the great fall of One Piece.
It's gonna be tough though, because like
I actually think One Piece has set up so much stuff, and Oda is such a good writer that I could see it having a mid ending, but I would be shocked if it had an ending that was so bad that it like genuinely upset
Yeah.
people.
The hard thing about like if let's say this prophecy comes true and I'd make a video on One Piece, the entirety of like the downfall or whatever, the difficult part would be is probably the closest things in terms of content, like pure content that I've like read through is ReZero. I've never experienced something on the length of One Piece with 1,000+ chapters or whatever. Now ReZero is like I don't know, practically like 30 novels worth in with the mainline stuff anyway. And there's all the side shit. I don't know what that converts to in like manga terms, but I've read thousands and thousands of pages of this series, and I don't even know if I could make like a composite video on everything that's happened right now.
Wait, do we have a ReZero fan base thing in here, or am I blind?
The ReZero, no, we don't.
It's
ReZero
hard to talk
community
about the
is like
ReZero fan base.
I would say
Average.
the
Noteworthy.
worst of it is gone now. Like all the Rem fans or whatever for not or like the Rem
Oh,
versus
Rem
Amelia.
versus Ram?
Yeah, Rem versus
Oh,
Amelia.
yeah, okay.
All the Rem
Yeah,
versus
yeah.
Amelia stuff, they're all like practically gone now. I'd say like the 2016 craze is done.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I was just thinking about that because it was like, I remember back in like 2016, I was watching like any stream, like any reasonable and popular stream. Do you remember like the Rem versus Amelia like spam, like Rem yay Amelia nay? Do you remember that? That was like the
Yeah,
thing I remember when I
I
think
do
about like the
remember.
ReZero fandom.
Yeah, they're
Just like
they're
people's-
gone now. So
Okay,
it's
good.
fine. The web novel community is like generally pretty wholesome, I'd say. Though we did the ReZero web novel community banded together to bully Yen Press, the English translators, for their work with Volume 17, which is really bad. They attributed an entire page rant to the wrong character, which is really bad because it's gonna like completely mischaracterize one person as a fucking like psychopath, which is not what you need in a story like this, right? Very like based in its characters, and so, and there's a lot of other mistakes. There's a whole Google Doc of shitty translations that they've made, and so we bullied them so hard they were like, okay, fine, we'll deal with it, and we have a new translator for ReZero now. Unfortunately,
Right.
that translator is probably pretty self-conscious about not wanting that to happen to them, so we get a lot of delays when it comes to the ReZero translations, but overall, it's a fine community. Obviously, bad apples everywhere, but I think ReZero's fine. Anyway, Attack on Titan. It's man, this is tough. I've seen a lot of dumbasses after the manga ended.
My only thing is, if we don't put Attack on Titan up there, does anyone else get up by My Hero? And is it okay if My Hero's alone?
There will be two that I think are pretty strong contenders, but we'll get to them when we get to them.
That's fair. I'm fine with putting Attack on Titan in just
I'm gonna
one of the.
I think up here. I think it
I think it's
belongs.
fine. It's fine.
I think after everything I experienced with that, it's like a apocalypse or something. We're in a Fallout game and the nuke is dropping. Is basically what the Attack on Titan ending's gonna be. I can't wait to experience it again with the anime. All the anime onlys
wait
to divide their own schism. It's honestly something. All right, pretty iconic one here. Next, we got the Naruto fan base.
These are the actual boomers of the anime fan base argument, right? Even
mean,
though
it's not
there's
even, like,
older
entirely
series,
boomer.
I feel like the Naruto fans are like the most boomer because they have that like back in my day we had good shonen type of vibes.
So it's like, I feel like the Naruto fan base at this point is split into like two sections. There's all the people who watched it or whatever and have like, maybe they haven't gone on to like different anime. Maybe, I don't know. It doesn't matter. There's like the chill people who watched it when they were younger. The people who go on to like go into the NBA and say, yeah, I watch anime. Naruto, Demon Slayer, pretty cool stuff. Not that there's
Like in
anything wrong with that.
RDC World or what
RDC
is
World
it?
Crunchyroll
The
selections.
Crunchyroll favorites, and it's
It's
just every
literally
shonen that everyone's ever watched, and
It's-
then like Parasite.
Naruto.
Yeah, it's just like literally all the top. You can like just we could rename it really popular shows, and you wouldn't even blink an eye. It's the same thing. No like disrespect to them or anything.
Disrespect, obviously.
It's just
They're
like
popular for a reason. It's not like
you
it's
don't
bad
need to put
taste.
them on.
It was just
on your
funny.
personal page.
It was really funny to see it there and be like, I get recommended these all the time just because I have watched anime before.
Yeah, it's like these are already like the most popular show. You don't need to like if I was given the platform to recommend shit, I wouldn't just give you like, all right, you ever seen?
I would be giving you more deep cut stuff.
Have you ever heard of
Even if it's worse.
Naruto? Like
Naruto? Bro, it's Naruto.
But then there's like the other half of the Naruto fan base, which are like the fucking Naruto Twitter is awful. And because I like
Twitter
anime
is
or
awful.
whatever, and I have my YouTube channel's like Twitter account. Anytime I go on there and it's like recommended tweets or whatever in the trending side of things, I'll see a lot of like Naruto or whatever. I feel like they never have anything good to say about their own fucking show. They will just go after anything else. They're like a fucking pack of hyenas or something.
I do think
They
it
just
is
go
funny
after other shonen.
the Naruto fan base versus Boruto.
They are always talking.
That is a
I
fun
do
one.
have Boruto on here. We're just gonna move it
Yeah,
over
yeah.
here.
We'll just bring Boruto
But
into
it's
this
like-
right now.
But I would probably put them in one of these two.
I want to put them next to Pokemon, but it's mostly because there's so many casual and like
Yeah.
neutral fans in the Naruto fan base that it almost like dilutes them a little bit.
I will put this here because all the people who like watched them when they were young, the athletes or whatever, they're all like fine and chill. They just like the show. And they're not gonna
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
go onto Twitter and be like, One Piece mid Naruto better. And it's like multiple things can be good, guys. You don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
It-
hate-
Realistically, almost everything we're talking about is good to some degree.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. Anyway, Boruto. I don't know anything about Boruto, but
It's really not that bad. The fan base of Boruto is like
I feel like
they're
they just get
fine.
Boruto
They
gets
cope a
shit
little
on
bit.
so much, so they're
Yeah,
just like
They get shit on, so
perpetual
they just
copers.
have to like fight to be allowed to live. They also there's a really annoying amount of filler in Boruto because if I remember right, the manga was monthly for a long time. It might still be monthly, and then they were just like, "Oh yeah, let's make the anime," when they like clearly did not have the source material to be doing.
Isn't
that.
the anime
So,
like it was like 60% filler at one point? It might still
Yes.
be, but
it's still probably pretty high, and that's like not the fan base's fault, obviously, but they loved to just fucking make filler arcs. I think they're with hentai fans. They're just their own little bubble.
I don't know if I put them in hentai fans. See, here's the thing, right?
Do you
Hentai
hear a lot
fans
from the
are so
Boruto
weird.
fans? I don't hear anything from Boruto
The thing
fans.
with the Boruto fans, right, is that they got a little bit of Naruto fan in them.
They do have a bit of Naruto.
Like
in them.
it's like they got that dog in them, but instead of dog, like they got that dumbass in them, right? It's been like it's just been ingrained in them. I'd probably put them at like I feel like on the same level as I don't know. I probably put them in this pretty trash here. That or best of the worst. I don't know.
I think it's fine.
I'll probably.
I
put 'em
think
here. I
any
don't
of those three, it's okay. I really don't think Boruto fans are that loud.
they're not that loud because they have nothing to be loud about. Yeah, and then when they do, they just get put down with like the Boruto crying gif. It's just really a sight to behold. But next up we have
Right.
Haikyuu.
Haikyuu fans are not that bad.
There has to be
put them in
so
not
many
that bad.
ships and so many like fanfics with this fandom, right? There has to be.
Haikyuu-
I think
Haikyuu
I
does nothing.
see.
Literally,
Nothing.
they just sit there. They sit there and they're like, "Hey guys, our show is pretty good too. You should watch
I don't
it."
believe
Smile.
that. I think you're biased.
I'll
There
see.
has to be
I'll see.
insane
Like,
fan
I'm
base.
being a
the
little
things-
biased.
but
I'm
I-
being a little biased for content, but it really is like
I
that
don't
is
feel like I've seen enough from them on like because I'll get Haikyuu recommended to me
Fair
too
enough,
on
fair
Twitter
enough.
for some fucking reason. I've never seen anyone from Haikyuu being like, "Oh, this show's mid as fuck."
The
They'll just be
most
like,
toxic
"We
thing that
play
Haikyuu
volleyball."
fans do is they love to make rankings of the players within Haikyuu of like
Okay, sure, yeah.
very arbitrary um measurements and just debate them on it. Like if you go
Volleyball
onto
experts,
the
by the way.
if you go onto the Haikyuu Reddit, it'll have posts. It's like, you know, top 30 players in Hinata's third year, if you know, and stuff like that, and it'll just have these arbitrary rankings of stuff that are just like someone making up numbers, and then you go to the comments, they're all just debating that stuff. But I've never like really openly seen, especially within the sports community, like most sports fans have just grouped under the umbrella of like Haikyuu is pretty good, and so like Haikyuu doesn't have to like fight anyone for that real estate or anything. They're just mostly like, yeah, we're pretty good. Watch us.
Yeah,
Understandable.
I've never seen like. I don't think I've seen it. If I have, it wasn't important enough for me to remember. But next up, we have JoJo's fans.
I feel like there's three groups of JoJo fans. One is like the really
Oh
loud,
my
like
god.
stereotypical. Second is like people who are like chill JoJo's fans, and the third is like there's like a lot of people who just like have seen like 4 animes in their life, and like one of them is
And one of
JoJo.
them's
Just, like,
JoJo's. That is
yeah,
a
they're just
weird.
randomly
That is a
hate
weird
JoJo's.
sex that exists, and I've never quite understood how like JoJo's is almost a gateway for people,
I don't know. It's
or
popular.
like an
I don't
early
know.
anime.
It's weird because like they're fine. Like JoJo's fans, they'll shit on themselves, right? They're like, yeah, I suck cock. It's like, yeah, I mean that part of the fandom's fine, but then there are
Crazy.
really fucking annoying ones, and so it's like I'd probably put them like despise, like the Naruto.
I want to
and
say
Pokemon,
they're
maybe.
just
Or
despised because
yeah.
realistically, they're not usually that bad. They have so many fucking memes. Every time they make memes,
There are
they're like,
there
"Oh,
are
JoJo's
there are
reference."
good memes. There are also
There are good
there
memes.
maybe too many, but like I don't know.
I feel like it's almost the same like thing as Persona, where they're just like memed on so much now that it's just like it's not even like
and
they're
they play
yeah.
into it, which is like I can respect
Yeah,
that.
sure. I can respect that. We'll put it in pretty trash, I think, is
Yeah,
probably like
I was
reasonable.
thinking like
Yeah, that's fine.
if they relish in the
Some of them are a little bit
they
loud.
relish
That's
in the
what I'll
hate.
say.
Yeah, every
They're
fan
a
base has
little
that
loud.
someone. Okay, next up we
Yep,
have the
for sure.
Yaoi fan base. Which,
What did they do to be here, by the way?
The
I
Yaoi?
don't know. Right
Was
fanfics,
it just
bro.
a
I
just
put
all they
something
do.
that we
I
decided to
put
put on
Yaoi
here?
and Yuri in here just because they like cover communities that exist.
I
would-
guess
Yeah.
that's fair.
I
I
think
mean,
it
to me, like
depends.
these are two communities that are similar to the hentai community, where it's like maybe it's just 'cause I'm not involved with either of them. But I don't hear anything really.
It's just
Dude,
it's okay.
They're in their
It's just
own
a
bubble.
fanfics,
It
bro.
just
It's like
depends because how far does it extend? Like
Although
with
I
My
will
Hero,
say,
there
I
are like
guess
Yaoi
yeah,
or
that's fairly
fangirls or
Mm.
fanboys or whatever that like ship the male characters. I would say they're usually not that bad until you like
until you like a series, and then they're all just like spamming your series about how the two main characters should date.
it's usually not that bad, but
Licorice recoil moment.
they like poke. Yeah, we'll talk about that with the Yuri fans in a second. Well, they like poke. Unless you poke the bear with a stick, right? A really pointy stick, then you're usually gonna hear. But when you do, when you fucking wake that bear up, they're really fucking loud. Like Yuri on Ace is what's pictured in here. And if you said anything bad about that, they always rush to like, oh, you're just a misogynist. And it's like, no, hold on. I didn't say that. I never said anything. These men can kiss each other on the lips all they like. However, your show is mid. I haven't watched any Yuri on Ice or anything. I don't think I've watched.
it's assuming. You're just assuming.
haven't watched a
I've actually
yaoi,
heard
just thought
that
by it
even
thing.
if you take the yaoi stuff out of Yuri on Ice, the story is fantastic.
I've heard mixed
don't
things
know that.
about it.
Yeah, I don't know that. I can't speak to that, but anyone I've talked to that I take opinion seriously from has all said that it's got like a really good story, like regardless.
I think it got a really bad like rep from it was like I think it was 2016 Anime Awards or whatever, where it won a lot of categories it probably shouldn't have. Just because Two Men Kissed is like basically the reason. And so the fan base like really came out and existed. Yeah, it's I don't know. I would put Yaoi probably in pretty trash because like they have a very high ceiling but a pretty low floor.
Yeah,
So I'd probably put them somewhere
I think
in the
that's
middle.
fine. Do we think
Yep.
Yuri fans are worse than yaoi fans? Maybe it's just because I watch more
It
like cute
depends.
girl animes, but they feel worse to me.
They definitely so like Licorice Recall it didn't get the Yuri ending or whatever, and people were really mad. I think Yuri fans have a problem where
Yuri fans are
they
horny
expect
for
things.
expecting Yuri.
They will expect Yuri even if it is not stated to be Yuri. And I was like, I don't know, I'll never call anything Yuri bait unless it's like literally baiting in the show. People can be friends.
Don't worry,
can
you'll be
have-
watching some Yuri bait soon.
People can be friends. That's just like if they introduce Yuri into it, then yeah, go buck wild or whatever, do whatever you want. But I don't feel like you should have we talked about it in the romance episode with Wari, that people shouldn't go into these things with the expectation that it's going to be Yuri unless it is explicitly stated as such.
Yeah, if it's not a romance anime, there's only so much romance I feel like you can expect. In general, not even just Yuri or yaoi or even just like
I would
boy girl.
I would probably put them the same because once again they have really high.
They're probably
demon
the
moments and
same,
then
but I
they're
feel
chill.
like I'm affected by the Yuri more.
I'm affected by Yuri more because
because
I
I
mean,
watch more like
He's
cute girl
heterosexual.
animes than cute guy animes. Although I watched season 1 of Free, so there you go.
yeah, I think I don't know. We just all agree that it's kind of hot, and now we can move on to Bleach.
Let's go.
Bleach is like
I
one of
don't
the
know
most
anything
tame shonen fan bases.
I feel like everyone's just like Bleach is pretty good.
How
they
do I
definitely
describe
have
Bleach?
the bad ones out
Bleach is like the forgotten cousin. Like all the popular kids at the party, and then Bleach is in the back, like, "Hey guys, I'm here too."
Yeah, it's because it
Y'all
was like
remember
one of the
me?
big three or whatever, and then like the manga had its troubles at some point. I
Mhm.
think
Bleach
It's-
fanbase is funny though because it's one of those stories where they have just this big opinion of like, yeah, it's like perfectly acceptable to consider Bleach to have ended at a certain point before it actually ended.
Yeah, I mean,
Which like
obviously-
other fan bases do sometimes, but the Bleach fans are like really into it, where they're like, yeah, this series basically ended after this fight.
Yeah, we have like the newer Bleach stuff right now, which apparently they're eating pretty well with animation and stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of it, so good for them. I don't feel like I've ever had like a bad Bleach fan interaction. They're just all really
I
horny.
kind of want to just
Yeah, I
put
was
them in
about- I
not
was
that
gonna say,
bad.
yeah.
They're just all really horny for like
Like I know
Yoroichi.
it might be crazy to put a shonen fan base in the least toxic tier, but honestly, Bleach fans are like,
Round of applause for Bleach for being the one
yeah,
show.
round of applause for Bleach.
Clap, go, clap.
We'll still never remember you exist in shonen conversation. So what?
It's not too dumb.
Anyway, next up we have the lover who's going to be
Ecchi.
for the ecchi.
It's worse than hentai, I can tell you that much.
It depends. I don't know. There are probably some like really bad ones out there. It's like the same thing. I would probably put it here. Ecchi
Yeah.
is like
Mm.
I don't know. There are people
It's like
who
a
are
little
like
worse,
way
I guess.
too weird.
Dude, it's because it's like people like lied. Like it's like I mean, it literally is like
I
softcore
feel
or
like
whatever.
the difference is like the hentai fans are
They
just
know
like embrace it.
They're
They're
more
aware.
self.
Just
They're
like,
self-aware.
yeah, they're like, yeah,
Ecchi is, like, trying
we're
too
just
hard to be
degenerates.
anime.
And then Ecchi fans are like trying to be secret about it.
But they're just trying too hard to be like an anime. When it's like
Ecchi
this is
fans
just-
are like a person who is trying to have an affair on being a normal person,
That's
and
crazy.
then hentai fans
It's
are
like-
just
It's like a
just already divorced.
like something like Data Live. At least at the very start, like Data Live is getting better now in terms of like story and like intrigue. But at the very start, you can now look at Data Live and be like, yeah, I'm watching because Data Live is very like plot and character heavy or whatever. It's like no, the character designs are cool, and they are the women in it are very they do things with camera angles and their clothing is removed at certain points.
And sometimes
Ecchi
things
experience.
explode.
Yeah, it's just like you don't have to make excuses for why you're watching Data Live. It's hot, we know. You can just say that, and no one's gonna judge you. Maybe some people will judge you. It's not gonna be that bad, but yeah.
But Ecchi fans will
I would
still
say
just
ecchi
be
fans are like
making the excuses.
They're like less evolved hentai fans.
Yeah, I'm down. This is a
Uh,
pre-Evo.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Monogatari fans.
I actually can't really speak much to this one.
Dude, I feel like this fandom thing, it's like almost like Evangelion, where they like pretend they're like really smart. Maybe not pretend. Pretend is the wrong word.
I will say no one ever like shits on anything. They like just kind of like the series is peak, and that's like kind of it.
Sure, yeah.
Do they think their series is peak?
Monogatari is so highly like depending on which one like Kizu Monogatari the third part. That movie is number 6, I want to say, on the Mel movie rankings with like an 8.8 rating. I know Monogatari second or series second season or whatever is, I think it's very highly rated. Shit, I can't talk, dude. I didn't bring a water with me. That was a big mistake. My mouth is getting evaporated. But I feel like there's some weird ones in there, so I'll probably put them there.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, if we still had the pedophiles category, I'd maybe put them there. But for right now, we'll just put them in best of the worst. Doesn't mean you're good.
Just to drag them a little bit by reminding them that category used to exist.
They're not perfect by any means, but yeah. All right. So next up is FMAB, which I think is a contender for special place in hell. To be completely honest. Yeah, I don't know.
See, it's funny. It's funny because I don't even know how would I describe it. I don't even feel like I hear most of the cringe FMAB takes from like the actual FMAB communities. I just hear it from my anime list.
Dude,
yeah, that's actually
it's
that's
all
like
the losers
right?
sitting on Mel. It's such a
which like I understand.
I
understand that is a section of the FMAB fan base, but I also am just like. I don't even know how representative that should be of the actual fan base from everything I know about them.
I would agree with that. However, counterpoint, the fact that literally Full Metal Alchemist has been in so many battles with different anime that it's taken down like a very large score margin that it went from, I know at least at one point it was above a 9.2. It may have been a 9.3 at some point in terms of Mal score. Everything on Mal is nearly below 9.1 now because there have been so many fights with FMAB for that top spot, and every single time I don't even know where do they get all of them. They just like crawl out from under a rock to like come defend FMAB, and then they crawl back under. It's so weird because like you never see too many people like hyping it up anywhere else. Like
wait,
on Twitter,
they came back up again. Fuck.
Yeah, they had.
I just went to check. Yeah,
I just went to check. They had to fight to the death with Kaguya recently, and then Bleach was up there. They had to fight with Bleach.
Kaguya exist for a bit, and then they came back.
They're crazy.
I actually thought Kaguya was gonna do it. I was like, it sat there longer than literally any other anime. Like had sat
they sat there for so long. I thought they were just like gonna be okay with it and give up. But I guess I shouldn't be surprised that over time they still came up here.
Yeah, slowly but surely it is battered down. Which I wouldn't call like Kaguya like the greatest anime of all time. But it's such a different show from FMB. I don't think you can really have a greatest anime ever, like definitively.
I mean, if we want for that reason to put them in special place in hell, I am okay with that.
I think
I just also
they need a reality check here.
I think if we punish them for that, it's fine. I just also don't know if that's like we should be punishing them for all of that, but it's not the worst thing.
I don't know.
The fan base itself is also still not like picture perfect greatest fan base or anything like that outside of it. So I think it's fine.
I think it's a relatively deserved place in hell. Fairy Tail fans,
I feel like we just put them in despise very much next to Naruto, and it's fine.
Yeah, it's like
I read Fairy Tail for a few years for the tail end of the series, and that's just. They're just like a shonen fan base.
They're a shonen fan base, and they have a grand shipper problem, and so that puts them above some of the other shonens that don't have a shipping problem.
Incredibly horny.
Yeah, I mean the show's pretty horny itself, so I mean it's like,
yeah, it makes sense why they are, but still.
Yeah, that's
Dragon Ball.
Tale. Dragon Ball, I think, is my other contender for special place in hell.
Dude, aren't all Dragon Ball fans just like People who speak Spanish and make gifs on like.
Dude, Mexico is insane for fucking Dragon Ball. It might be more popular there than in Japan. I'm not gonna lie. It's in fucking, I don't know. Japan had
I
like
still
live
think
events
for
and shit
me,
for Dragon Ball.
I still think for me, Dragon Ball is just hate with a burning passion, kind of for the similar argument as why Naruto is lower than it maybe should be, because there's like so many normal Dragon Ball fans.
See,
Dude.
I would agree with you that it kind of like has like the what's it called, like the athlete casual fan like protection. However, I've seen enough. I've seen enough that I am perfectly content with putting it in special place in hell.
Crazy.
Dragon Ball
I mean,
fans,
you've seen way more
I
Dragon Ball fans
dude,
than I have.
the
for what it's worth.
Instagram accounts are so bad. They're so damn dumb. It's actually impressive how stupid people are. I will never see people fighting over the mechanics of Dragon Ball more than in those
Oh
Instagram
yeah,
comment
power
posts.
scaling, all
I'm
that
like,
stuff. Yeah,
dude, the fucking author doesn't even know what the fuck the power scaling is anymore. You don't either. And they'll always be like,
making stuff up as he goes.
yeah, there's the dude just making stuff up, and you're trying to like, oh, why? How did Gohan become? He goes from fucking literally getting clapped by people who are like considerably weaker, because he stopped training or whatever, to just being on the same within like 0.2 seconds. He's now like on the same level as everyone else. It's like, oh, he just has potential. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. If he had the potential, why wasn't he doing this from the start? It's just bullshit. It's just how the power scaling works. It's all dumb, and I hate it so damn much. Just accept Dragon Ball is not what it used to be. Unfortunately, it has gone too far, I think, in
So
terms
the
of
people who make the freaking the gifts that are like Rule 11,
the
no
rule.
Genshin impact. It's like Rule 12, no more rules. It's like so stupid.
It's
It's like that
so
and like
dumb.
Spanish memes are like the only parts of the Dragon Ball fandom that are like funny.
I don't even know if those are from the Dragon Ball fandom or people just use them because it's funny. Like,
They just use them. No, I'm convinced the Spanish memes are like actual Dragon Ball fans. I'm just like convinced. That's my headcanon. Okay,
I don't know. It's
strip
like
that away from me.
they're obviously chill parts of the Dragon Ball fandom, but I think it just gets so. And then there's like, oh, but could he beat Goku? I think they're definitely one of the like they're like on the
Sure, yeah.
Naruto level of like calling things mid.
I will say the could he beat Goku fandom. I didn't really think about that one. That one makes it he's pretty bad.
Also, brain power. The Dragon Ball anthem.
Yeah. Next up we have Black Clover. I don't think I've ever seen like.
Black Clover is like a baby compared to a lot of these fan bases in
I'd probably
terms of
put
like
it here to be honest, like for
existence.
my
I think that's
personal experience.
Most of Black
Laz.
Clover isn't that bad. They kind of fight with like the My Hero and like the newer gen shonens a little bit, but like
I don't think I've ever seen anything like
same-ish.
egregious. Like I'll go on Twitter and be like, "Yeah, this scene was pretty hot." I'm sad that they cut it from the manga or the anime or whatever. And that's about it. They're just all like,
yeah.
they get hype at the hype moments and they get horny, and that's about the Black
And the
Clover
horny
fandom. Yeah.
They are
Appropriate
shonen
levels.
fans. Yeah, at appropriate and understandable levels. Here we
We
go.
have Fate fans, which honestly like could contend for special place in hell, but I haven't had enough of an experience to say it otherwise.
Fate fans are weird because
I
like
feel like they gotta go in one of these. Two, at the very
realistically,
least.
I think realistically you put them in hate with a burning fashion because Fate fans are just such a polarizing fan base, and the series makes no sense. But to a Fate fan who is knowledgeable, they will be like, "No, how do you not understand that you're just in timeline 762 variation B3 of the Fate timeline after the Third Holy Grail War, Daniel?"
I will never.
That's obvious, and
I'll never understand how such a what seems like pretty straightforward, like I don't know, why can no one agree on the watch order? It's obvious that Zero is the watch start, in my personal opinion, as a non like Fate fan. I feel like it's just the like logical place to start. How is it that I go online and everyone's like, no, we got no fucking clue, dude. It's just
because Unlimited Blade Works was written first. It's that argument.
it doesn't I think fucking Unlimited Blade Works, and it suffered for this.
I think given that there's so many because Stay Night is what it is. It's 3 different arcs that happen.
It's gonna
And
spoil you
it's
on what happened in Zero.
2 shows. It's 3 movies for the Heaven's Feel arc. and all this stuff. I think at this point, if you want to tell someone that they should start with one of the Stay Night routes and then go back to 0 and then come back for the other 2 Stay Night routes, that just feels backwards to me.
I mean, really, I don't know. You have to start with either UBW or 0, and then you can't do a Heaven's Feel until I feel like you've done 0, maybe.
Mm. The worst part is what Fate fans will want you to do after you finish the Stay Night
time to
route,
load up Fate
more or less.
Grand Order. You surely won't
Yeah.
have to spend thousands of dollars to be able to play this game.
Yep. So there's the side stories that are adapted off of stuff, which right now Apocrypha and Last Encore are the only 2 really. But you can read Japanese and get access to Japanese novels, there's a billion Fates you can read, and they all have their own personal universes and lore behind them that realistically don't mash up together. But it's Fate. We can do whatever we want, realistically.
The Prisma Ilia fan base.
Yeah, there's a Prisma Ilia fan base.
Do you think like
We have to
fans in
bring
general
back the
should
pedophile
Fang.
category.
And then obviously, yeah, there's the Fate Grand Order verse based off the game, which I like the Fate Grand Order series. They make no sense in relation to like the Holy Grail Wars and the Stay Night series and the Apocryphas. It's like an entirely different thing. It's like someone took the Fate IP and just said, I'm going to make my own thing now.
Yeah, I'm hyped for the Queen of England to get added into the game.
Sadly, I believe that
Did the creator say he's not going to?
Nasu talked about this with like current people who would qualify for heroic spirits and stuff like that, and was basically like, yeah, I'm not gonna do stuff like that. And part of that is because like it would be funny, and maybe he'll renege on that because he's someone who does stuff like that where he'll say, I'm not gonna do this, and then one day he might just do it because the opportunity arose. But things like Neil Armstrong is a good example. But there's like legal issues for why you potentially couldn't use Neil Armstrong, because after the death of like a famous person, I'm pretty sure there are some like legal rights to the name within like states of origin or to the family, and things like that. So it's just like a legal mess, and I believe Natsu was just like, we just really won't mess with it, to be honest. Plus, it's kind of weird to like have historical character in this game, but then it's like
modern historical
at some point it's like, yeah, like I was alive while that person was still alive.
I don't know. I just
like, it would be weird to me, and this is not someone who would make sense being in Fate at all, but if there was like a Kobe Bryant heroic spirit,
what the heck?
It would feel awkward to me, because it would be like, well, I watched like living Kobe, and now he's like documented in this game about historical people. I don't know.
Yeah, I just saw like on Twitter, like the meme with the guy who's like writing with a pen on fire onto a paper, and it was it was Nasu drawing the queen to be the hottest character in Fate. I thought that was just goofy. Okay, so
which was a good one.
Next up,
I feel like one of the common complaints of like fandoms is like trying to prescribe too much to like the authors or like the actual story. It's like we did this for no reason. Like there's no sense like trying to be made in a lot of these cases, but like the fans are just like crazy about making a story about it. I feel like that's like a common complaint. So
this next one's unfair because Idol fans are already in hell.
Yeah, we're just gonna bring this category back.
What the heck?
No.
What?
Yeah, don't worry.
Oh my god, you're a clown. What is this?
Clown.
Anyway,
you're self-reporting.
I assume this is all Idol,
right?
Not just Love Live.
I mean, I guess it's all like under the same umbrella, but I feel like Love Live is the most like
Love Live is
known,
almost everyone's gateway. And then if you like Love Live, you probably will watch more Idol.
Yeah. I wouldn't call myself a Love Live fan. I am watching it begrudgingly at this point.
Until Nijigasaki.
Yeah, Nijigasaki.
You need to watch Sunshine. Sunshine was good. I liked Sunshine.
I mean, I'm going through all.
I didn't like
the dual
Idol project that much, and I liked Sunshine more. And So I would say Sunshine was the one that got me more into Love Live.
Yeah, it's just a matter of like I'm doing all this stuff in between. I'm watching Monogatari and the Love Lives. I'm dual wielding pedophilia, I guess, and with how we've memed this. But
Dual wielding pedophilia. That's a line.
Quote. That
That's
is
a quote.
definitely a quote.
But I don't know. I feel like there's like levels to it, right? Like there's like the wholesome people who just like the music, but then there's like the toxic Love Live fans who like will literally fight over their favorite characters and stuff like that. In like I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things where it's like it's again like a high ceiling but a low floor. I'd probably say idol fans are like I don't know. There's obviously
Probably like equal to Yuri and Yaoi
I
fans.
put them in the pretty trash. But yeah, I don't know if I could like say enough. But this last one, however,
Where do we put One Piece fans? That's hard.
One Piece.
Because I'm like super in the One Piece community.
Okay, so Special Place in Hell. You already said you were in Special Place in Hell.
There's a lot of garbage in the One Piece community.
I don't know if I
but
put it in special place. I don't
think
think it has enough of a mainstream reach to get to special place in hell.
Yeah,
I think One Piece is
You have to
too
be
long at
consistent
this
here.
point to get there.
PK said he was in a Special Place in Hell because he was a My Hero fan. You know, we have to try to make it a little bit consistent.
Yeah, but My Hero is different, right? Like everyone knows the My Hero
True.
fandom is
True.
awful, but One Piece, it's like maybe you'll have like the occasional interaction with a shitty One Piece fan, but otherwise it's just
hard.
be in, like, oh, One Piece is peak, you know, it gets good at episode 537, or you know, the One Piece is real post Big Cock or whatever, you know. It's just,
that's the newest
One
thing.
Piece is real one.
It's so dumb.
The memes that spawn out of the One Piece community, or even just like One Piece affiliates, because it might not even be community people, are sometimes pretty bad. I think it can't be any lower than despise very much, but my gut says it should just go into hate with a burning passion.
I would say, from my personal experience as well, I've never seen like, I'm sure One Piece fans fight with like, no, I put them on the same level as Naruto probably.
I think that's fair. I'll take that because I said they might be a little worse, but I also see like all of the One Piece community, so it's like compared to
name every One Piece fan.
It's like how it's like with Dragon Ball or Attack on Titan, where it's like Attack on Titan's like exploded more into the just mainstream cancer, but
very.
You know, I don't know. I feel like we have a pretty good list here.
I still love how the best category is not that bad.
Yeah. I mean, because there's no like good fan.
There is no.
Yeah, wait. That's the next question. That's the next step,
terrible
bro.
People.
There has to be one fandom that's good. It's like a very obscure anime that like nobody cares about. Yeah, sure, I guess.
I mean,
like
I guess it depends. I don't know. There's always gonna be someone, I guess.
Sure, I guess.
Like you could like the fucking Gochuucast fandom. I see like cool art on Twitter, like people like draw other.
Awesome.
Like I saw like a Bochi from Bochi the Rock drawn in like the Gochuucast style. And you know, it's just a wholesome. Any like slice of life is just a generally wholesome community that like isn't out to hurt anybody. They're just there to have their grocery store arc, you know, and have fun with it. So
understandable, yep.
So yeah, we'll add we'll go right below and just okay.
Not pedophilia. Not anymore.
Slice of life fans.
Slice of life fans. Shopping cart.
We don't have slice of life fans.
We don't have
the ad here.
Exactly. There's no toxic.
None of them.
Surely there has to be.
Toradora?
Surely. That's like
romance.
That's a romance drama.
Yeah, it's romance. Yeah, I'm just thinking.
I don't know if there'd be like a pure slice of life, I'd say, that has a cancer fan base. I feel like you'd have to really dig.
I don't know. I'm fighting the K-On fan base right now.
Actually,
but they're not
you know what?
cancer. I just am fighting the K-On fan base currently.
The K-On fan base
true.
has
aren't they racist?
Yeah, it's just the whole big thing that they're really racist.
That is
there is the racism.
Once you complete the final minute of K-On season 2, you become racist. Or watch the movie, maybe. I don't know. I'm looking at I can't think of any like slice of K-On might just be the most like toxic slice of life, I guess, if we really wanted to go that far. But even then, that's a stretch. Yeah, no, there's no slice.
Yeah.
There's no cancer slice of life.
all wholesome.
Probably.
Wholesome. White people happy.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have completed our little tier list here. I'm gonna fucking back out of full screen here. I haven't been looking in our fucking chat. I just see 7 notifications. Let's see. Okay, it's nothing important. What the
JKK Friday, bro.
JKK Friday. Fucking, is that the Turkish flag? Am I correct?
Yes, that is a guy in a room full of Turkish flags. Yes, that is Jujutsu Kaisen Friday. That is a fandom. That is the entire fandom.
A little goofy. Oh, where the fuck is my other? Oh, okay. Re-Zero web novel community. I was gonna say, where the fuck is the 7th pig? Chapter 80 of Arc 7 is out. The fucking ReZero's author is a big fat liar. He said he was never gonna make anything as long as Arc 6 ever again. I think that, yeah, pretty sure he said that anyway. Maybe I'm getting misinformation, but Arc 7 I feel like undoubtedly going to be longer. It's just getting out there in terms of length. I don't know. There's a lot to get done. I'm not caught up on it, so maybe it's getting a schmove on, and I just don't know. But yeah, I feel like I don't think I have anything else to. You actually put that in quote chat.
I love tier lists.
Oh.
I think we have a fan base, you know. And
Only slice of life fans are safe.
Where do we put the Gochuucast fan base? Are we?
Gochuucast
We're in hell.
fan
We're all
base.
in hell.
Resh listens
Slice of
listens
Life
to us
podcast?
every week, so surely we're special place in hell.
Yeah, but Lugia listens to us every week as well.
That is true. It kind of balance. But Mars listens to us every week.
Oh, damn, you're right. I think, does Chimpback actually listen? I wonder if he just says good
Yeah.
podcast.
Dude, that's
If
such a
listens,
Chimpback
he'll
thing.
surely tag you in Piplups after this episode.
Chimpback's busy trying to hit a baseball, bro. That's his new goal.
Yeah.
Chimback might listen though because Bat's on the podcast and he loves
Yeah,
Bat.
Chimpback has to check in on his son.
I can't
His
tell what my
son's
relationship with Chimpback is. I can never tell what he's thinking.
You guys are sworn enemies.
I can't tell if
Most
he hates
People
me.
can't. For what it's worth, most people can't tell what their Chimpak status is.
Because for a while,
I love
we
that
never
guy.
had any beef, but then Nolan disappeared, and now it's just on site. He had to move on from one ReZero fan to another. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I think unless anyone else has anything else to say here, I believe we're
No.
done with this tier list.
Only
Believe
slice of life
it.
fans are safe. That's all.
Only slice of life fans are safe. If you know of a slice of life that has a cancer fan base that isn't K-On,
Please let us know because I can't think of any off the top.
Yeah, I don't mean no drama, no nothing. I mean it's literally just slice of life.
Leave it in the comments.
Leave it.
Toradora?
I said that.
Yeah, we just said that. It's
Yeah,
but it's
romance
like a romance.
Yeah, it's
more
romance
romance.
drama. Yeah, I
But I
can't
would
call
put
it slice
like
of life without. Yeah.
The fans have weird takes. That's
I
for
mean,
sure.
just literally
Yeah.
definition grocery store arc type of slice of life where nothing of importance happens.
Wait, you say grocery? Okay.
Yeah, the grocery store.
Grocery store. Wait, what do you say?
Grocery store. Oh my god!
Oh,
I'm
you
done.
say
I'm done.
Oh,
Surrey?
no.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
We got this
yes.
fucking guy out here. All right. No, now we gotta do this.
The grocery store?
The grocery store. How do you say caramel?
Like the.
Do you say
sweet thing?
do you say caramel?
I say caramel.
Caramel?
Okay.
Caramel's like the city where I live or where I used to live.
We have 3
I
different
used to say-
pronunciations.
I used to say caramel, but now I say caramel.
How do you say crown?
Okay. What do you?
Crown?
Crayon.
Did you just say?
Crayon?
Crayon. Yeah.
Crayon.
Then you
Crayon.
draw- yeah.
You said
Crown.
crown.
No, I said no.
I
no,
swear
It's
you
because
said crown.
it's because
I
my
swear you
voice.
said crown.
No. It's because my voice at the speed at which I was talking, they all melted together. And
This
you
is
thought
another one. I used to say crayon as a kid, and now
Crayon?
I say crayon.
All right, at least you're not saying it. I feel like crown or crayon are fine. Crayon, that's a whole nother level.
He keeps saying
Crayon?
crown, and it's confusing
I'm
me
n-
so much.
I said it I said crown and then crayon are fine, but
Crayon.
What do
He
you
said
want me to?
crayon.
Every time he says it, I just hear
That
crayon.
changes every time.
I don't know what
Stick
you
to
want me to
pencils,
do.
bro. Stick to pencils.
Stick to pencils.
More up your
yeah.
alley.
Okay.
We're not in toxic fan bases anymore.
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, I'm surrounded by a toxic co-host, and so we're going to be ending this episode here. If you enjoyed, please hit the like button. You should consider subscribing as well, so you don't miss any more episodes of the Gochuucast, because you don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be toxic yourself. If you are an audio-only listener, you can find us on YouTube as the Order and Anime Podcast. YouTube actually has introduced handles recently.
We
So
got
we're
17 emails about it.
Yeah, we are at Gochuucast now. I still haven't been able to choose one for my fucking main channel, which is the biggest, obviously the biggest fucking channel I have, which is annoying because my personal YouTube account, just for watching shit, got a handle before my fucking actual YouTube account.
Every YouTube account I own had got handles.
I don't know how I don't have one yet.
Beforehand.
I already tried to check with my personal one to see if I could take Daniel. It's gone already, so I'm gonna I'll just do like Daniel YT or something like that whenever it gets there. But yeah, anyway, if you are on YouTube and you'd like to go to the audio only side of things, you can go to our anchor link down in the description, and there you will be able to find our links to like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. Just come back and see us next week at Saturday, 3 p.m. EST. And if you are a fan of one of these shows that we listed on a very high place on the trash meter, we're not sorry. Thank you and goodbye.